Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how to make a kicker using scraps. So let's get into it. Keep watching to the end of the video for a link to the plans for this project. So my friend at MTB Lifestyle made an awesome kicker, and I thought I would attempt making one myself. Once you have the design plans, you can start by drawing it out on a carbon box in order to make a template. Due to me making my RAM from scraps, I needed a template to physically see what materials I will require. The template just makes it much easier to measure against the materials which I have. Once you finish drawing it out on a carbon box, you can cut it out using a pair of scissors or a Stanley knife. If you're using a Stanley knife, just be careful as these knives are normally quite sharp and can easily cut you. Now that I have my template, I can start to measure the scraps which I have. I marked on the offcuts where I needed to glue them together. I needed to glue a couple of pieces together in order to make the sides of the ramp using wood glue and a couple of clamps. While the glue was setting, I started with the other side. I had a big enough piece which I didn't need to glue, so I traced the template on that piece so long. I used the template on all the pieces of the sides and traced them. Once I finished tracing it, I just went over the lines again so that they are clear when I need to cut them. Have you made your own kicker? How did it turn out? Are you still using a lot to practice some of your skills? Let me know down in the comments below. Once I have traced the design, I can now start cutting out the sides of the ramp using the scraps. I started with the takeoff ramp. I didn't have scraps that was big enough to fit the template, but they were big enough so I could cut out most of the sides. It's not perfect, but it will do. Next I move on to the landing ramp. I clamp both the pieces together as I only need to cut once, and will also ensure that the shapes are exactly the same. While I was busy cutting, I also cut the platform beams for one of the ramps. The reason for this is that I don't have enough hardboard for both of them, so I decided to use some of the pallets and cut them to size. Once all the cutting's been done, I laid out the support beams on the sides. I then marked where I wanted to put them. As they are different sizes, I could not space them evenly, but the thicker support beams at the bottom and the top of the ramp, as that's where the most pressure will be. I'll use the markings to identify where I want to drill the pilot holes. I just worked on the floor as it was easier for me to mark them. Using the markings, I clamped the pieces together and drilled the pilot holes. By clamping the pieces together, it will ensure that the support beams will line up when I assemble them. While I was at it, I also drilled the pilot holes for the cross beams, which will become the platform on one of the ramps. Now that all the cutting and drilling has been done, it's time to actually start assembling the ramps. I put the sides on the ramps on a workbench and drilled in the screws using the pilot holes. I tightened the screws from the bottom while holding the support beam on the other side. Now I put the other side up and lined up with the support beams with the pilot holes. As the ramp now already have some support, it's much easier to tighten from the other side. If you like this project and would like to build your own ramp, I left a link down in the description where you can download the plans. Check out these videos for more how-tos and some nice trails for beginners. And if you know of any nice bike parks, let me know down in the comments below.